Okay, anyone not sign in? Want to jump up and sign in if you got? This is DS 302, Advanced Business Statistics with Excel. We'll be using Excel a lot. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to try to be real relaxed this semester and try to somehow have a little fun along the way, I hope, because this is my last semester in history. And my 35th and last. No, 70th, I'm sorry, 70th semester and last semester ever. So we'll try to at least not put too much pressure on each other. Here's the deal. I have this one rule that I'm asking everybody to follow and to not get mad at me because I'm gonna follow it. And that rule is, on everything, is called the no excuse policy. It's worked for over 30 years, so we just gotta let it work for one more semester. There's always one student though that doesn't like the policy because somehow or another along the way, they feel like they got cheated on because of the no excuse policy. And so I just wanna let you know, it's nothing personal. When you hear me say, I'm sorry, I can't do that, because I can't do it for anybody, it's because I'm gonna treat everybody the exact same. That's the only way I could find to treat everybody the exact same, is to have this no excuse policy. So, now if everybody says, okay, let's embrace the no excuse policy, we're gonna have a great semester, and nobody's gonna get mad at anybody. Because everybody knows, heck, why should I even ask her to do this, because you know he's gonna say no. And so we go, oh, it doesn't hurt to ask. Well, yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask, but you know what the answer's gonna be. You know, because that's the only way I treat everybody the same. It's nothing personal. All right, so now there's the one rule. The rest of the stuff is just, you know, how do I get an A in this class, all right? How do I get an A? I don't know, let me think. You know what, before we even go to the syllabus, let me show you where we're heading by the end of the semester. Let's do that. I did pick a problem. Right there. Okay, let's take a picture of this. This isn't gonna be posted. This is the advantage of showing up today. I'm gonna make it much bigger, but the whole thing is right there right now. You can take a quick picture, just save it. And the reason this taking a picture is gonna be good is because you have 3 quizzes that everyone else seems to be calling tests, so you might as well call them a test, I guess, and a final exam. And that picture you just took, along with everything I posted on Canvas, along with the book, if you decide to get the book, is open game while you're taking the test. You just can't use another human, you can't use the internet whatsoever. But it's open note, open book, anything I post on Canvas, no previous tests, none of that stuff, but all the stuff on Canvas, including that picture you just took. So you can have that stuff available to you. The problem you're gonna have, the reason why everybody doesn't get an A is because of the time. I make these things where, okay, everybody has a chance. Nobody here has to have perfect memorization. If everybody here had great memorization, they probably will go, oh, I'm gonna be a lawyer or be a doctor. Because that's really the difference of getting a degree as a doctor or a lawyer, is if you can memorize everything. I'm not asking you to memorize anything, but you gotta be organized and you gotta understand how to use the tools that you're gonna learn in this class, or else you're gonna run out of time on the test. It's a time test, and the time is to separate the A's from the B's. So you gotta say, how do I prepare for these things? And how you prepare for it is you say, I have all these materials posted on Canvas that I can use, but how do I find what I need fast, because the clock is ticking every second while I'm staring at it. The hardest thing for advanced statistic tests is recognizing what kind of problem you have in front of you and which then formula to use. Everybody in this room, if I said to you, here's the problem, here's the formula, everybody here would pretty much ace it. You all can do simple algebra. You all can plug in the numbers once you have the variables, and then you can use algebra to get to an answer. This class is all about you recognizing which formula to use as you read the problem, and that's what makes it hard. So that's why I'm focusing on in the lectures, is helping you identify as you read the problem, then say, okay, now which formula may I use? On the first quiz, there's basically only about, I think, 4 different formulas to choose from, maybe 4 or 5, and that's it. But it's so easy to confuse which one to use compared to another. So the key is, as I'm lecturing, and not today, but every lecture after this, is making sure you take good notes when I'm highlighting what to look for to then know which formula to use. That's the key. And then when you get prepared for a test, is when you're looking at it, you say, okay, I'm gonna see a problem on this test. If it's this kind of a problem, how fast can you find the formula and the help you need and an example so you can apply it correctly? That's what you prepare for. And if there's only 4 or 5 formulas on the first test, then you need to have notes ready in 4 or 5 sections so that when you recognize it, you go right to that section, you get the help you need, boom, you write down your answer. You ace this class, that's all there is to it. Most people who don't ace this because they were absent. I don't know. I'm recording it, you can watch it, but it seems like if you're not here actually absorbing it and watching me do it, for some reason, it hinders you from getting the A. So try to attend if you can. It is part of your participation grade, but it's such a small part. For it to affect your grade, I think you gotta be absent probably at least 4 or more times. So, you know, I don't want you to think like it's a heavy deal on your grade, but I'm telling you is that if you're going for the A, attending seems to be in your best interest. Now, let's talk about this problem. Everybody's got a picture, so I'm gonna zoom in. I wanna see, this is where we gotta get to this semester. The director of housekeeping at Elegante, I don't know how to pronounce that, it looks like Elegante maybe, a luxurious resort hotel with 2 locations, seaside and oceanfront, those are the 2 locations, wants to evaluate housekeeping performance at those 2 locations. Random samples of 100 rooms were inspected at each location for defects. A defect would be like missing towels, missing soap, dirty floors, showers, dusty tables. After it's been cleaned, after the inspection, it was found, ready, here's the stat now, it was found that 21 out of 100 of the rooms at the seaside had some house cleaning defects. 28 rooms at oceanfront had some house cleaning defects. Use 5% significance to determine if there's a difference between the proportion of these 2 locations. That's what we gotta get to. You just recognize the problem. Now here is the key to this problem. The key to this problem is you gotta go, oh my gosh, look at this. There's 2 samples involved. There's this seaside and there's this oceanfront. So this is from later in the semester because the first part of the semester is all about confidence intervals. The second part of the semester is all about 1 sample hypothesis testing. And the third part of the semester is all about 2 sample hypothesis testing. This has 2 samples in it. So you're on the final exam, you're going, okay, I know this is from the third portion, so now you got it down to those notes and those sections right there of all the notes you have, you got it down to that, and now you're looking at it carefully and you go, oh, it's asking about proportions because it's 21 out of 100 and 28 out of 100. Those are proportions, so now you know you're using Z and not T. Now, you don't need to take notes right now, just hang in there with me. This is just, we're gonna get there by the end of the semester. But that's how you're recognizing the note that you use Z. Then you're looking through, now you're going, right now you're on the third portion of your notes, you're going, okay, which formulas are Z? You got it down to maybe 1 or 2 formulas now. That's all you got, you're looking at it again, you're looking carefully, and you're realizing, I gotta think a minute, what's the third hit I'm looking for? It's 5% significance. And since the proportion that you know that since there's 2 different samples that you have to have what's called the pooled proportion. Once you realize you have to use the pooled proportion in this one, you know exactly which equation to use and you now take it on. You look at the example you just got off of Blackboard, you got off of Canvas, excuse me. You got off of Canvas an example, you look at the example where pooled proportion is being used, you're going, oh, yeah, this is from week 11 or week 12. Yes, boom, now you do that problem. You're writing on your quiz, or writing on your final exam, your answer that looks like this. You gotta write that null hypothesis, you gotta write the alternative hypothesis. Proportion 1 minus proportion 2 is equal to 0, meaning there is no difference between them. There's no difference between these 2 proportions. The cleaning staff is doing just as good a job at one as they're doing as the other. Even though, look, there's 28 rooms at the other one, so you think they're not doing good at a job, but this is what this class is all about. You can't just take the raw data at face value. You've got to apply statistics to see if that's truly a difference. Which one's the second one, by the way? Oceanfront? Is oceanfront housekeeping staff really doing that much worse of a job than seaside? I mean, we're talking 28, 21, but this is just a sample of 100. Remember, these there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rooms at these 2 resorts, and there's tons of days going by. So this is just a sample. So the difference, for you to make the claim that there's truly a difference between the cleaning staff of these two resorts, is they gotta be separated far enough away from zero to have significance. That's what you're learning in this class. Is yes, one is 28, one's 21, there is a difference. Yes, on face value there is. But you gotta learn to apply the statistics to determine if there is a difference or not. Ready? P1 minus P2, the proportions between them equal 0. They're not far enough apart to be far enough away to 0 to have any significance. We're assuming there's no difference between these two cleaning staff. That's our null hypothesis. The alternative would be there is a difference between them. That if you subtract the proportion of rooms, the 28 rooms compared to the 21 rooms, if you subtract the two, they're far enough, the difference is far enough away from 0 that it's in one of these tails. Does this look familiar, 301, right? Bell curve? We're trying to prove for the statistics that the result was either way down here, up here in this tail, or way down here in this tail, and if we prove that, then we can say there is a difference between these two house cleaning staffs, and we proved it with these two samples. But 28 and 21, yes, they're different from each other, but the difference may be here, or here, or here, or here. That's not significant. Randomness could have caused that difference. We didn't prove anything. For us to prove our point, that difference has got to be way up here or way down here. That's what we got to get to by the end of this semester. Does everybody see where we're going? This is how research is used. Now, the reason this is important is you have several other classes that you're going to be using some of the statistics, especially at the end of the semester, we're doing correlation and I can't remember the other thing, coefficient of determination. And I'm being told by, has anybody had operations yet? Operations class? No one's had operations. What's the other one? There's two different classes where you're going to be using this stuff in those classes, so you need it. You need this. So that's why those are some of the most important things. Now, this kind of research we're doing, this is what you need to do a master's thesis. And right now, a lot of you are going, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to grad school ever. Now, a lot of you may go to grad school right away, and some of you may think you're not going to grad school, and you get to that first employer or that second employer, and they're saying, hey, we'll pay for you to go to grad school if you want to do that on the weekends or at night. Oh my God, get a grad degree for free? You gotta do it. You gotta do it. If it's free, they're gonna pay for it. And that's what the kind of thing you gotta do is a thesis. And you gotta take statistics to prove something. To prove that there's a difference between the house cleaning staff at one hotel compared to the other hotel resort. And you gotta show that you can apply statistics to prove there's a difference. Now my question for you is, before you see the answer here, do you think that 28 rooms out of 100 and 21 rooms out of 100 is significant enough to say there's a difference between these housing staffs cleaning, or do you think they're too close together? Anybody have an opinion? Yes, we're recording, and yes, there is participation.
No.
Huh? There's no wrong, I just want to know, what do you think? At face value, what do you think?
I think they're too close.
They're too close, you think? 28 and 21 out of 100? So we gotta turn them into percentages. So 21 divided by 100 is 0.21, which would be 21%. 28 divided by 100 is 0.28, so that's 28%. So look at this. Here's one proportion, there's the other proportion. We're gonna subtract those two proportions to find that difference. And I didn't show the details, but when you do this, you are showing the details. What does 0.21 minus 0.28 equals negative 0.07? You're showing me that. Here is that pooled proportion. You take the 21 plus the 28 divided by how many were in the total sample, 100 in one sample, 100 in the other sample. The pooled proportion, 0.245. So the denominator is that pooled proportion times 1 minus that pooled proportion times 1 over the sample size in the first sample plus 1 over the sample size in the second sample. You do all of that in between the parentheses, then square root it. Then divide it into that negative 0.07. That gives you what's called a test statistic. In this case, it's Z, because we recognize these are proportions and that there was two samples and we knew we were doing Z instead of D. So we knew we were going to use a Z formula. There's our test statistic, negative 1.15. The instructions say use the p-value approach. This is where we're going. Right now, you guys are going, oh my God, I can't believe we're going to live. You're going to find this is easy. That's how we're going to do this. We're going to use the building blocks method. The build blocks, we're going to make a foundation, and you're going to go, oh my God, I can do any of these problems. You can do any of these problems, but not all of you are gonna be able to right away recognize what kind of problem you have. That's what you gotta focus on. Recognize what kind of problem you have. By the final exam, you're gonna have about 15 formulas to choose from. So you gotta recognize which one of the 15 that is. You got it right there. Then you plug it into Excel to get what's called a p-value. There's that number, that's called the test statistic. Oh, it's a two-tail, so we gotta multiply by 2. How do we know it's a two-tail? That's not a greater than or less than equal. That's not a greater than or less than. This is an equal and a not equal, that makes it two-tail. If there was a less than or greater than involved, then it would be called a one-tail. It's a two-tail, so we gotta multiply this by 2. And, oh, look at the last sentence is gone. And here we go, now we got our p-value. What is it? We gotta multiply by 2, let's see what it is. 0.2497. Turn that into a percentage for me. Move the decimal 2 places to the right. What, and round it. What percent you got? 20, what percent? 25%. I'm rounding because the next digit's a 9. 25%. Now here's the deal. At the last sentence of this problem, it said use 5% significance. That's what you compare what you just calculated to. That 25%, the next question you ask yourself is my calculated p-value 25% greater than or less than the significance in the problem? Is 25% greater than or less than 5%? Greater than. Anytime your p-value is greater than your significance, you cannot reject the null hypothesis, meaning the null hypothesis is true. There isn't enough difference between these two, and we did not prove that the cleaning staff is any difference between these two locations. See, we're right. Everybody see where we're going? That's what this class is all about. All right, I just did a master's thesis for you. You're welcome. No, we got to do something more complex than this. But part of that master's thesis is you're the one who collected the data. However, you decide how to get. You wouldn't do 100 rooms. You do 30 rooms in one resort and 30 rooms in another resort, and that takes time. You got to write up exactly your methodology and which particular statistical formula you're going to use to compare whether there's a difference between these two rooms. That's what a master's thesis is all about, showing that you can do true research and that you can come up with a conclusion using statistics to apply to the raw data you collected. All right, let's get back to the syllabus. There's my email right there, umich.edu. There's my phone number. I never answer my phone, but you can text it or leave a message if you want. There's the semester, winter 2025, January through April. Here's the deal, office hours. Office hours are pretty much any time except Mondays and Wednesdays, because I'm here lecturing on Mondays and Wednesdays. So pretty much any time, any day, other than those 2 days. But most of you, all I ask is that when you request an office hour, that we exchange emails back and forth a little bit to give me a chance to see if I can help without even having to do an office hour. But we'll schedule one just in case we need it anyway, and then we can probably cancel it if we were able to get it resolved using email, whatever the question is. So that's the deal with office hours, but again, anytime, but not Mondays or Wednesdays. Let's keep going. Course description. You guys know what this course is. There's the grading. The grading scale is pretty normal, pretty average. This is in stone. So if I said to you, all of a sudden you get to the end of the semester, you're looking at your total on Canvas, and I posted the scores now for the final exam, and you see yours is 83.7. 83.7. What is your final grade in this class?
84.
I can't hear you.
84?
B. Yeah.
Not 83.
I round based on the first digit to the right, no matter what the next digit is after that. So only one digit. So hearing that, here's the rough part. What is the lowest score you can get on the total on Canvas? Remember, I'm only going one digit to the right, and still get an A in this class.
83.5?
No, an A. You're talking about B? 92. There it is. 92.5. So if you got 92.499, and every semester I get emails, look at how close I am to the next grade. Look at how, come on, you just got to give it to me. Look, the grade's in your hands. there's only two teeny little parts where I gotta use my judgment for your grade. You should be figuring out what you need to get to that A the whole semester. And if you happen to have not sent one of the participation emails, or you happen to have been absent 3 times or something like that, and you didn't quite get to that grade you wanted, that's on you, not me. Because as far as the 2 parts I got to grade, well, when we get to that, I'll tell you what I do. Believe me, it's all in your hands. I've never affected anyone's grade. So, book. Here's, yeah, I'm sorry, what's the grade made up of? Participation's 5%, most of that is attendance, all right? Making sure you sign in on the sign-in sheet. In-class assignments is 15% of your, there's like, God, I think there's 12 of those or 13, so divide 15% by 13, that's what percent each one's worth for your total grade out of 100%. Homework is 20%. Last semester, I thought we were gonna have 11, we only ended up having 10 homework assignments, so they were 2% each. 2%, because 20% divided by 10. Quizzes, yes, quiz 1 is only 10% of your grade, quiz 2 is 15% of your grade, quiz 3 is 15% of your grade, then the final exam is 20%. So there's the biggest part of your grade. What you'll find in this class is your participation, your in-class assignments, and your homework, you're kind of gonna, most all of you are gonna do pretty well in. You know, you're gonna be 90s and above almost on all those. And that's what helps you in case you fall apart, because yes, it's open book, it's open note, open materials that are posted on Canvas, but these quizzes, because they're timed on purpose to separate A's from B's, are very challenging. And so you can't take them lightly. And so some of you may fall apart on one of the quizzes, and that happens all the time. Even students, A students fall apart on one of the quizzes sometimes. And it's the homework and the in-class assignments and participation that help keep your grade up so that one fall apart doesn't destroy your grade in any way. So make sure you do all of the assignments, that's the key. And if you don't do them on time, don't be a fool and wait any longer than the next day, because the answer is posted the next day on these assignments, and all you gotta do is hand write the posted answer on paper, take a picture and email it by midnight the next day, and you're guaranteed a 75. You completely forgot to do the homework, but you know, all of a sudden it's Tuesday, and you know the homework's due on Monday. By the way, homework's due every Monday, might as well put it on your planner. Almost every Monday you're gonna have homework due, by 2 o'clock, before 2 o'clock. Oh, I can hear someone handing in at 2:01 right now. Why did you take 25% off? I handed in at 2:01 for 1 minute late, because you have 5 days and you waited till 2:01 to hand it in. That's not on me. All right, yeah, 7 days actually, it's posted already. But anyway, the homework and the in-class assignments are gonna help keep your grade up. And if for any reason you forget to do a homework or in-class assignment, the answer is posted. You just gotta look at the answer, write it out in your own handwriting the next day. It's gotta be handwritten so you're not copy pasting. Take a picture, send it in, email it to me, and you're guaranteed a 75. If you're gonna hand something in late at all, do not hand it in late without looking at the posted answer, because it guarantees you the most points by comparing it to the posted answer before you hand it in. If you're gonna hand it in late, look at the answer. All right, good. The book. This is the first semester I'm not requiring the book. Ever. You don't have to spend any money on a book if you don't want it. Now it's open book test, open book final exam, so that's up to you. But what I've done on this first homework assignment is I took the assignments I usually assign from the book, and I just instead reworded it and changed the numbers and wrote it out and typed it all up myself. So you're gonna get personalized homework assignments, not out of the book. So you don't have to have the book, but, you know, believe me, on the multiple choice questions, I think a lot of students found by going to the book, especially electronic book, and putting in the search engine, the name, word from the multiple choice, and then it takes you right to that section where you can read about it real quick and answer the multiple choice. There is an advantage of that. So you may want an electronic book. Don't run out and spend money on electronic book, because there are a bunch of students that had electronic books last semester, and I don't know how they got it or where they got it from, but I know they didn't pay for it, because they told me that at least. So this is the 4th edition. The 5th edition came out about 6 months ago. So I'm using the 4th edition. So this is the whole, if you do decide to buy a book, don't spend more than $30, because this is the 4th edition. This is a whole edition old. There's so many used ones out there that if you don't find one for less than 30, you're not searching hard enough, And you're gonna be wasting money the whole rest of your life because you're gonna be spending too much money on everything. Let this be your lesson. You have to shop around. All right, so how do we feel? Everybody okay, understand about the book? Anybody think they're gonna try to go without it for the whole semester? Good for you, all right. That's up to you. I would even get a third edition. Someone would probably give you a third edition, just to get it out of their closet. You know, if it's open book test, as long as you don't spend any money on it, why not get, you know, if it's free. All right, so there it is. Whoa, what's that say? All my courses have a firm, no excuse policy. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Learning goals, program learning goals, yes.
So my guess is that the no excuse policy does not pertain like to the homework assignments? Because you said that we could turn it over anyway.
Yes, the no excuses, you can't go outside the late policy.
Okay.
Yeah, like, hey, this is 5 minutes late.
Okay.
Well, you gotta stick to the late policy. The no excuse is, I know you got in a car accident and you're in the hospital right now, and it took you 5 minutes to get that to me. But, you know, so I have to treat everybody the exact same, so I have to take 25% off. That's what I mean by the no excuse part. That was a bad example? Was it? Wait, you guys haven't, last semester they gave me a hard time for mentioning how my grandma's dead about 10 times. So if you know, if that upsets you, I apologize a little bit. I've just got a morbid sense of humor, that's all. All right? But she is dead, as a doornail, just so you know. But she can do this. She can do this better than you. Just so you know. On my mother's side, not my father's side. All right, late assignments, here we go. There's that no excuse thing again. Late assignments can be handed in any time, but it'd be crazy not to hand them in the very next day that it's due, because that's where you get the most points. After that, it's another 10% off. It's 25% off the first minute to all the way till midnight the next day. Then it's another 10% off, another 10% off, all the way up to 60% off. Once you get to 60% off, however many days that takes, 4 or 5 days, you can hand it in any time up to April to be announced, it says. I don't have the exact date yet, which date in April, but you can wait all the way till April to hand it in then, because the highest you can get is a 40. So it's up to you when you want to hand it in, and then whatever date, you're gonna see it up on the board. I'm gonna put an announcement on Canvas that this is the last date to hand in late assignments. After that date, the highest score you can get to 20. So instead of a 40, but if you have zeros, when we get close to April, if you have any zeros, turn those zeros into 40s. Because all it takes is like 2 or 3 and it changes your grade. 2 or 3 zeros change to 40s, change your grade. But nobody should have any zeros. It just means you don't care about your grade enough, because the average amount of time it takes to do the homework assignment for this class is gonna be 50 minutes per week. So, I mean, I couldn't make this more of a no excuse reason not to hand in your homework. I mean, 50 minutes.
Is there SIs or anything for this class?
Is there a what for this class?
SI.
A what?
SI.
What's it? Oh, you know, I don't know. Good question. Supplemental instructor he's asking about. I haven't gotten an email yet telling me if they've gotten one for this class or not. But I know there's gonna be free tutors for sure, and I put on Canvas on the announcement, the free tutor link and everything as soon as they get it to me. Usually it's about the second week that they get it to me, and I'll get it up there. But I think last semester, I don't think I had a single student go to SI, even though they did have it last semester. I don't know, I think this class is just too easy for you guys. I think I'm making it too easy, especially the last semester. Think about how easy it's gonna be. I mean, it just seems crazy. I know you can be tempted not to show up, but I don't record the life lessons you could learn in this class at the end of the lecture. And you'll miss out on those. I don't know how else to encourage you to be here. Yes, the 1, 2, 3, 4 of you who've heard some of these life lessons before, you could use them again anyway. All right. 25% off, 1 minute till all the way to the end of the next day from the due time is the first day late, then another 10%, all the way to a maximum of 60% off. So once you're 5 days late, take your time. You know, all you gotta do is look at the answer. It takes you 5 minutes to hand in a late assignment because the answer's posted. You're just copying the answer and writing it out. Even if it's Excel, but no Excel spreadsheets are being handed in until we get to week, I can't remember what it is, maybe week 8 or 9, where the only way to do that assignment is by Excel. But all the other Excel before we get to that week, you're hand writing the Excel equation, you're entering in Excel and put the result on the paper, but I'm seeing you're hand writing the equation you entered in Excel, and you're writing the result on the paper. You're not handing in a spreadsheet. Everybody hear that? Because I need you to get comfortable with that. That's how you're doing the tests. You got a question, it's asking you to solve it using the Excel formula. You're writing the Excel formula on the test, and then you entered it into your computer or this lab computer, and then you're putting the result on the test. But I need to know what you typed in exactly, which formula you typed in and what was in the parentheses. That's how you're answering the questions on the test, and we gotta get used to that. So we're not handing in spreadsheets. What else? Assignment resubmissions. Here's where everybody gets confused. Are you ready? Yes, you can resubmit an assignment, and you should resubmit it, but only resubmissions can be done if you had missing items. No corrections can be resubmitted. Errors and any corrections of any kind cannot be resubmitted, only missing items. Now here's the deal. You're handing in your homework before 2 o'clock. You're you're emailing. All homework can be emailed this semester, not handed in paper. It's all being emailed. So you're emailing it in before 2 o'clock. You're on your way to class, as a matter of fact. Oh man, it's gonna be late. You pulled over. You be late to class. Don't let the homework be late. That's crazy. You lose way more points having the homework late than having you late. You pull over. You get your phone out. You take pictures of your homework. You email them in. You take your time. You come to class. You walk in late. Who cares? You sign it, right? You're losing such a minute, no effect on your grade type of point for walking in late. Who cares? Handing in that homework late, you're losing 25% of 2%. That's a big deal. So, where was I going with this? Oh, you get here. I'm going over the homework every Monday at 2 o'clock. It was how we're gonna start our lecture off. And when I'm going over it, you're the one who's saying, okay, hopefully you have a picture of it or you have the original in front of you, you hand it in, and you're looking to see if you missed anything. Because if you have a missing item, write it out on a piece of paper and hand it in on the table on your way out of the room on that day, because you're guaranteed then to get 75% of the missing item points back because you handed it in before the midnight the next day. Or write it all down, and when you leave that night, take a picture of it and say, here are my missing items, and get it to me before midnight the next day, and you get 75% of the missing item points added back to your score. Now, you can add in missing items in April, and you still get 40% of the missing item points added back to your score. All right, so you have missing item points being taken away, you can get them back. Just know that. What percent you get back is up to you, how long it takes you to recognize. Now, will I get the homework assignments handed back by Wednesday? In some cases, yes. In most cases, it will probably be Thursday. We have a grader, so it's gonna be kind of tight to get them to you by Wednesday. But by the time you get it, if you wait till Thursday to determine whether you have missing items, and you're handing in the missing items, it was due on Monday, you're only getting back, what is that? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 25, 35, 45. So you're only getting back 55%, 45% off, 55% of the missing item points added back because you waited till you got it returned to you that said missing item on it. That's the most common way students recognize they have missing items, is when they get the response back of their grade. Oh, I had a missing item that was 10 points off. And then you quickly will go to the answer and you'll write it out and you'll take a picture and you'll respond to the email with your grade. Makes it so much easier to figure out why you're sending me this missing item. You're responding to the email of your grade on the homework assignment with that missing item, and now it's been a couple of days, so you're getting 55% of those 10 points, 5.5 points added back because you now did the missing item. Everybody get it? Now, some of you are gonna resubmit an error and say, oh, look, I corrected my errors. And then I'm gonna have to remind you that only missing items can be, don't get mad, it's you just forgot that it's only missing items and not errors can be resubmitted. Only missing items. All right, but I won't be able to give you any points on errors. When something's handed in, this is where I'm at right here. Once you hand in your homework, and a lot of students will hand it in early, and then they'll go, oh, I did something wrong, and they'll correct it, but I'm handing it in before it's due. So you handed it in 2 days early, you went on WhatsApp, and everybody's talking about it on WhatsApp, and you go, oh, I did this wrong, and now you're resubmitting it again with the correction. I have to take the first one. The only thing I can do with the second one is hang on to it in case you have missing items. I can go to the second one and go, oh, he or she handed in the missing items on the second submission and it was before it was due, so I can give all the missing items points back at 100% with no late reduction. That's the only reason you can hand in another one before the due date that has an advantage, is if you recognize you had a missing item. But if you recognize you made an error, there's no reason to correct it because I can't take the correction. Once you hand it in, you hand it in. All right. How do we feel about it? Does everybody understand about resubmissions? Is that
A missing item, that's just like, if you're doing a homework assignment, it's just one that you kind of forgot to do, or you just left.
yeah, for example, let's say you handed in this. And notice right here, I went from the setup, by the way, this is where the points are, the setup. That setup is where the points are. Having each of these numbers in the right spot that you picked the right formula. But let's say you were handing this in as homework, and you have this as your test statistic. There's supposed to be at least 2 calculations between the setup and the answer that are missing. So I put on here missing 2 calculations minus 10 points. You can resubmit those calculations between the setup and the answer.
Okay, got it, that makes sense.
All right, keep going. How are we doing on time? We're doing fine. Let's see, late assignments, 25% off, we got that all the way up to 60%. Missing, we got that. No, there will be no extra credit and no revisions in this class. No extra credit, no extra credit. And I can't tell you how many times this semester I'm gonna find points in time where somebody, here's a good example. Last semester, we had a great review lecture. It was in week 14 before the final. And we were all, a bunch of stuff was going on. We're all walking out and I left my laptop sitting right here. And I live an hour and, it was an hour and a half drive home. About an hour and 20 minutes, but it was a long drive. I hit construction. And I sent a blast out on campus saying, anybody still on campus in, Fairlane Center South? And 3 students, the first student, and then about 2 more did after that. And he came here and he found my computer and he took it to the dean's office and handed it in there so I could pick it up when I come back to campus 2 days later. But boy, was I worried about it until I knew it was somewhere somebody could get their hands on it. Because if I lost this, I can't tell you how much, I don't have it completely backed up. So we would lose probably this all last semester's materials. Anyway, that person deserves extra credit. There's a perfect example of extra credit, but I don't have any extra credit. So if he didn't get extra credit, nobody's getting extra credit. Man, that was a life-saving event. So no extra credit in this class, sorry. How am I grading things? Almost all the homework, except for 1 or 2, will be detailed grading, where it literally says, here's your grade. Here, you can see exactly how many points you got off for errors, how many points you got off for missing items. But then there's what's called a non-detailed grading. Every once in a while, there'll be what's called a non-detailed grading, and it will be in the grading. It will say non-detailed, which means your assignment's not being looked at on whether it's right or wrong. It's whether you attempted every problem and put in enough work. Maybe your setup is wrong, but you did 2 equations and got to a Z test statistic. The grader and I are gonna look at that and say, you made the effort, you get full credit. It's a non-detailed grading. We're not looking to see if it's right or wrong. Here's the only bad thing about non-detailed gradings, is that some students forget that it was a non-detailed grading, and they have their answer in front of them while they're taking a test to look at as an example, and it may not even be right. You're better off downloading the right answers that are posted on Canvas and using those as the examples to look at while you're taking a test, because then you know they're right. And if you're accidentally looking at your own answer and it was a non-detailed grading, you may be looking at the wrong answer that had mistakes in it that weren't even found, that weren't even looked at. So be careful on that, but there's only a couple, maybe 1 or 2 in-class assignments, only 1 or 2 homework assignments that will be non-detailed grading, where it will say non-detailed, it's just looking at whether you got it right or wrong. The in-class assignments I grade by hand, and if it's a non-detailed grading, you'll see the letters OK at the top. That means 100, but the OK with no number or anything means that it was a non-detailed grading. A detailed grading, you'll have a number at the top, and it will, if it's not 100, you can look down and see exactly what you got wrong or what was missing on the paper. Your homework though, you're emailing it I'm emailing it then to the grader after I look at it to see if something jumps out at me that you, like some students will, when we get later in the semester, you got handed a spreadsheet, some students will forget to hand in the spreadsheet. So I'm looking real quick after you hand in the email, I'll say, oh my God, you didn't hand in the spreadsheet, I'll respond to you, hey, you forgot to hand in the spreadsheet, you still got time, and then I'll wait for it before I send it to the grader. But I look at it, then I send it, forward it to the grader will grade it, forward the grade to me, and then I will take the grade, make sure it looks okay, and then I will put it in the Canvas grade book, and then I send you the grade. That's the process. I know it sounds long, and it is, but it's not bad. It'll work. It worked last semester, it'll work this semester. So that's the process. Here's, please, 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 email in your assignments to me directly, to my direct email. Do not use Canvas. Too many students in the past have had Canvas not get it to me. And it just happens too many times, so we're just taking Canvas out of the picture as far as submitting homework and late assignments or whatever you're submitting, submit it directly to my email. Avoid using Canvas. I know some people love submitting through Canvas, and I apologize that you have to submit to me directly and attach your assignment to it or a picture of your assignment, but that's the best way to do it at this point in time, so that to protect you and me. Because the no excuse policy, you email me or you emailed it through Canvas and you didn't realize you forgot to attach it, it's late. Even though you had it done in time, it's late. And so I don't want that to happen to you. Here it comes, participation, where most of the questions are gonna be, I think, I don't know, maybe. 50% is attendance. Let's say you came in late to class. You're gonna get what's called a 25% absent deduction for that day. But remember, 25% absence is like a fourth of an absence. And you gotta have like 3 to even maybe affect your grade. So you'd have to be late, what's 3 times 4? 12 times, you have to be late 12 times to have an effect on your grade. So you don't have to worry about it so much being late. In most cases, I mean, you'd have to be so close between 2 grades to have 10 lates affect your grade, but it might be possible. But it never has that I've noticed. 50% of your participation is just showing up to class on time. I start lectures right on time, and a lot of times I'll get done early. So know that you may get out early. That's the advantage of showing up on time, because you can get out early. So we can get started right away. 10% of your participation grade, which is only, by the way, participation is 5% of your grade. So that means the attendance is 50% of the 5%. It's only 2.5% of your grade is attendance. It's like a homework assignment. One homework is the same as attending classes. 10% is direct emails to me, 2 during the semester. They have to be on 2 different days, and they can be about anything, and they can be about nothing, but they can't be about handing anything in. Anybody hear that? Anybody understand what I mean by that? They have to be on 2 different days. It can be about anything, they can be about nothing, but they can't be about handing something in. You can't have something attached handing in. You can't say I'm handing this in it. You can't say, hey, I want participation and I'm handing something in. Because when I go to find the participation one, anything is attached, I'm assuming you're handing something in, and I won't even see it to count it as a participation. So on 2 different days before the end of the semester, just send me an email and let me know if the Lions won their game or not. Because I'm refusing to watch TV for a year. I'm testing. I experiment by myself all the time. All right? But I watch the highlights on YouTube the next day. All right. 15%, so 2 emails, right? 50% is answering questions during the live lectures, helping me get to know you and your name and all about you a little bit. So, like when I said, hey, how many do you think? And he said, I don't think they're far enough apart, 28 compared to the 21 on the seaside and the ocean front. That's participating. Stuff like that. You know, once in a while I answer my questions if you can. The dead silence, I like to make jokes out of when I give them. Let's see, live lectures, helping them learn. That's, by the way, that 15% of 5% is such a small part of your grade, but that's one of the only parts I get to affect your grade on. That's one of 2. The other one is 15% is helping other students during the in-class assignment. While you guys are doing the in-class assignments, I'm going to tell you all about how you do it, and part of it is helping others get through the in-class assignment. You know, if they're struggling with it, teaching them how you did it. And then that's 15% of your grade. Now, here's what I do at the end of the semester. I pretty much, you can plan on right around an average of around everybody getting around a 90. Yes, there's some below 90s, and there's some above 90s. The range is like from 80 to 99. I almost never give 100 on this, on my 2 things, answering questions or helping others. But So like when you're trying to predict your grade, just throw in a couple of 90s or a 91 or a 92 or an 89 or whatever. And that way you can say, okay, now what do I need on the final exam to get whatever grade you're going after? At least you can kind of predict what I'm gonna be giving you, which will be around 90, 91, 92, you know. If you're someone who really participated, you're up around 99. If you're someone who I'm still trying to learn your name in week 13, you're gonna be closer to 80, 82 or something, you know? All right, where are we? Those are my two 15% right there. And then the last 10% is at the end, you gotta do the course evaluation, and I'm just asking you, when you get done with the course evaluation, there's this page that says completed. Just take a screenshot or a picture of that and send it to me. You do not show me any answers. Those are all confidential. Just show me you completed it, and then boom, I put a check in that you got that 10% participation. That's an easy 10% at the end. As a matter of fact, last semester out of 78 students, only 3 didn't do the thing. So you can see how easy everybody's like doing it real fast and get it done and get the easy 10% there. Any questions about the participation? Does everybody know what's expected out of that 5% of your grade? This is made to help your grade, so make sure it does. Testing, you ready for this? Let me show you what testing looks like. There you go. Did you see it?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that's what testing looks like. All right? By the way, those folders are the exact same folders I'm gonna use this semester, and that's from 2014, and they were already 8 years old then, at least. Same folders. I only had to add a little bit of tape on where they're coming apart a little bit, because it's 2 folders taped together. But I try to do everything I can to take away the temptation of looking to your left and looking to your right. We're all close together here, you know, so you can focus on your stuff. You got your material spread out in your little cubicle. Everybody has their own cubicle. There's gonna be 7 in a row, going back, 7 in a row. And, you know, you're relying on how well you organize your notes and how well you can find the help you need. We're just not relying on any other humans or the internet, that's all. So I'm trying to take away all temptations and kind of encouraging you to prepare by organizing the way you're gonna find the help you need when you read a problem. The multiple choice one, you know, you gotta find a way that you can search a PowerPoint or search a book with some keywords, and you'll find the answer to that too. You know, just learn how to use your search techniques. Blah, 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 what else we have here? I think I covered almost everything. Blah, 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 blah. Read all these on your own time. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Here's the schedule. Here's the first thing I want to point out. Monday, January 13th before 2 p.m. Monday, January 20th before 2 p.m. Yes, I know January 20th is Martin Luther King Day, and we don't have class on the 20th, but Monday's lecture will still happen. It's a video recording from last semester. If you're taking Martin Luther King Day off, more power to you. Do not watch that video on Monday. Either watch it the day before on Sunday or the next day on Tuesday, but you gotta be ready for Wednesday's lecture one way or the other. So watch that video either the day before or the day after, but we're not meeting here on Monday the 20th. That's Martin Luther King Day. So that'll be a video recording, but there's week 3, but look at, no homework due after week 3 because we're taking a quiz as soon as you walk in on Monday, and I want you to focus those 5 days from Wednesday's lecture to Monday between week 3 and week 4 preparing for that quiz. That first quiz, I was shocked. It was the lowest grade for almost every student last semester. I don't know why. Very odd thing, I think. So I want to make sure you prepare for it. So no homework after week 3 has to be due. Then we go to week 4. Homework due Monday on February 3rd before 2 p.m. The reason I'm pointing this homework thing out to you is because I hope you're using a planner. And I hope you just grab this, and every date that I have on there that homework's due, which is gonna be a Monday, and then skip a Monday here and there, you know homework's due by 2 o'clock. And if you put it on your planner, 2 o'clock Monday, 2 o'clock Monday, 2 o'clock Monday, 2 o'clock Monday, you won't miss a homework then. There's gonna be 10 times that you gotta hand in homework on a Monday at 2 o'clock. I keep it consistent so that everybody will know when it's due and nobody will get confused. Oh, I didn't know when it was due. Monday at 2 o'clock, before 2 o'clock. All right. There's quiz 1 though in week 4 on the Monday of week 4. Hang on, I gotta find my thing. I'll go over here. Then quiz 2 is on Wednesday of week 7 on the 19th.
We should make it that day because Bowl's on Monday.
Is that true?
That's something, yeah, that.
No, I'm not watching TV. I can't even watch the Super Bowl. Wow. If the Lions are in it, wow. They are gonna be in it? Really? I think so. 15-1 or 15-2. You guys, you know this is the best Lions season in the history of the Lions franchise. I mean, we're going back before you were born, almost before some of your parents were born. Before I was born, and I'm really old.
In the Super Bowl era, it's 57, they won the championship.
Oh, since the Super Bowl.
In the
So you're
Super-
saying now that, but this season's record, 15-1 or 15-2?
15-2.
15-2 is the best record they've ever had in the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? That's unbelievable. I mean, we just had University of Michigan win national championship last year, and now we got the Lions had a great season at the same time, and now we got the Lions possibly gonna be in the Super Bowl. It couldn't be a better time to be in Michigan. I'm a Michigander, proud of it. Yes, I graduated from U of M also. I'm an alumni. Yes, I went to my parents dragged me to football games when I was a kid down in Ann Arbor. So I became a fan at a very young age. And then I left college and went out in the working world, and I worked my butt off. And I worked my way up to president of a company, and then I walked away and said, you know what, I don't have to work anymore, I'm just gonna teach part-time from this point on. And here I am teaching part-time. I've been semi-retired now for 20-some years, just teaching part-time, trying to stay relaxed. All right? And I'm gonna quit that at the end of this semester. We're done. This is it. You guys couldn't have picked a better time to take this class. I don't know what that means. Other than we're trying to have a little fun. Spring break, oh my God, I can't wait. March 1st through the 9th, oh boy, right in halfway in the semester, we perfect timing. Did you guys notice last semester we didn't get really a real break, and halfway through the semester, Thanksgiving was like way late in the semester before we got a week off? It was awful waiting for that. This is gonna be way better. This is right in the middle, right when we need it. There was a question I thought. No? No? Okay. And then our third quiz coming up how long after, it's a while after spring break. Week 11 on Wednesday, all right? What's nice about these Wednesday quizzes with quiz 2 and quiz 3 is I will for sure be handing them back on Monday. There's no way I will not have these done grading in 5 days. I grade the quizzes myself.
So would you say the homework is gonna be to help with the quizzes?
Yes, he's asking if the homework will help with the quizzes. There's 4 or 5 people that have had me already for 301 in here, and they'll tell you that I think my quiz questions and final exam questions have a lot of direct relationship to the homework, a lot. But the multiple choice is a different story. And my quizzes and final exam are about 35% multiple choice, maybe hits 40%, and then the other ones are problems, just like your homework. Problems just like the homework, that you're expected to show me the detailed answers. Unless it's only answering with Excel, then you're writing out the Excel equation and the result when you enter it in Excel. Believe me, you'll know how this class goes. You'll have a good handle on it after the first quiz, because the second and third quiz and final exam are just like the first quiz. That same percent or multiple choice, same problems are like the homework, same type of relationship. And then our final exam is, where is it? Monday, April 21st, not 2 o'clock though, 3 o'clock. On Monday, April 21st is our final exam at 3 o'clock. But I'm telling you, I did it last semester and the semester before that, where I took, what is the date of our week 14? See how it goes on Monday the 14th and Wednesday the 16th? We did 40% of our final exam on the 16th, the second day of week 14, and then we did the bigger portion of the final exam on the final exam date, April 21st. I want to tell you, grades were higher than normal, and so I want to do it again. So you guys think about that between now and April. I'm pretty sure I want to break it up, and whatever lecture was planned on the 16th won't take place. Maybe we'll even do a review on the 14th, depending if we don't have a snow day, and we'll get into that in a minute. But if so, we'll do 40% of the final on the 16th. Then you got how many days? Is that 5 days? You got 5 days to prepare for the bigger part of the final on the 21st then. Shockingly, most people do better on the second half than the first half. It's like a recovery for them. And it happened again last semester because I said the same thing I'm saying to you, I said to them last semester, and I said I want to do it because the semester before, it ended up being on an average better grades. And the same thing happened just last semester. On average, it was a better grade than most classes I've had in the past. So I'd like to break it up in two again, for your benefit, if anything. And then, the other class has to wait until the 25th to take their final. Any questions about the schedule as far as what to expect? Does everybody know when homework's due? Does everybody know when the quizzes are? These quiz dates are pretty much in stone. The only thing that could cancel the quiz, obviously, is, school gets canceled. What if school gets canceled and it's not a quiz? Class is still on. Go to Canvas, check your email, check the announcements, because I'll post a lecture video instead of us meeting here, and class will continue, and everything will go as scheduled. So we'll have no snow days unless it lands on the day of a quiz. That's the only way we'll have a snow day, all right? Because I've got 550, almost 600 videos, so I'm just gonna use last semester's video. If for some reason we have a snow day, I'm gonna try to keep everything right in order, just like we did it last semester, so the video will be right exactly what we would have had that day anyway. Are we okay?
What about the quiz? What would happen?
If it's a quiz, we're gonna have to take everything and push it forward. That may destroy this whole schedule then, if we have a snow day on the day of a quiz. So we'll deal with that at that point. What are the odds? This is statistics. You count how many days we're meeting. 3 of them have quizzes. This is before the final exam, because you know there's no snow April 21st. So you count 3 of the quizzes, how many days we're meeting, and then divide that by how many days we're meeting. The 3 divided by how many days. That'll tell you the probability of us having a quiz canceled by snow. And then even the probability goes down, because it's the probability of even having snow. Was it snowing when you guys came in?
No.
It wasn't?
It's a little bit.
I put a brush in my car because I thought that we'd make it snow today. So I think I covered everything up here. How are we doing on time? We only got a few minutes left. Oh, Canvas. Almost forgot. Shoot. Here we go. Canvas. Got it set up where the latest announcement will show up at the top, but there's more than one announcement. So you want to go into announcements, because you're going to see on announcements will be where the tutoring link will be for free tutoring. If you have the Canvas app, set it up where you get a notification if I put an announcement up there, because that's going to be where I communicate to you guys, is by putting an announcement up there. Hey, class got canceled. I'm posting a video lecture. Watch it before the next class, that kind of thing. That's what I'm putting up there. Or classes got canceled. It's on Monday. Homework's due at 2 o'clock. Homework is still due. Even though class got canceled, you still email your homework before 2 o'clock. I'll put an announcement like that up. So if something weird's going on, check Canvas. What else? Assignments. Here's your assignments. They're gonna be week 1, week 2, week 3, in class and homework all the way down. Oh, you can go right from home though. This is what I like. Go from home. Here's all your materials. Every week has instructions. Oh, I didn't open the instructions. Every week has instructions. Look at these instructions. The instructions tell you the date of the week. It tells you the written assignment. It tells you Excel. The written assignment gives you the name of it. You're going to look for DS 302 Winter 25 Week 1 Homework Assignment. Answer the questions. The written assignment is asking for manual calculated solutions and the Excel entries that would be made to find the same solutions. So you're writing Excel right on the written assignment, or typing it up or whatever. So the Excel questions are in the written part, is what I was trying to say there. Some weeks the Excel will be a completely separate spreadsheet. That's why I have them as separate categories here, written and Excel. So that as we get on in the semester. Here's when the homework's due, Monday, January 13th, before 2 p.m. Please email it directly to my email. Do not submit using Canvas. Here's the materials. We're going to use Chapter 8 PowerPoint, slides 2 through 15. Excel entries, we're going to learn, there's one more. I don't even have it on here, darn it. Textbook, 4th edition. Here's the pages. If for some reason you decide to get the textbook, here's the pages that are related to the lecture we're having on Thursday, or to this whole week actually. And then the live lecture recording, today's recording will be posted either tonight or tomorrow morning on Canvas. There'll be a link. I want you to see an example of a link of the lecture. So I posted last year's first lecture. Any chance anybody decided to watch a little bit of this at all? Anybody raise your hand if you watched a little bit of it? Nobody watched it at all? Wow. Anyway, you click on it, it says Firefox can't open it. Hang on, let me show you what it says. You just gotta click on this link up at the top here, and it takes you to YouTube. And then it takes you right to it, and then you start the video.
Oh yeah, I opened it in the beginning of the class. I opened it.
You have to open it. All right, so there's that. All right, so yours will be posted. I'll take this one down and put yours in its place or something, and then you can click if you wanna watch a review, any of what we talked about today. I wanna get back to assignments again, because I want you to see that. Whoop. Here's the modules, here's home, there's the instructions, there's the PowerPoint. Oh, don't let me forget this, before I do homework. PowerPoint, don't open it in Canvas. I mean, you can, but Canvas eliminates a lot of the graphics, and you are not gonna get the full PowerPoint. Please, when you open the PowerPoint, download it, then open it. And you're gonna be tempted, look, it looks like it's all there, doesn't it? It's not. There's graphics missing, so how do you download it? You click right at the top here, and you go like this, and here it is, it's downloaded, then you click here, save it on your hard drive, it's gonna be in your download folder now. Move it to a folder to prepare for quiz 1, so you have the PowerPoint for quiz 1, and all the graphics now are gonna be able to be viewable because you downloaded it instead of looking at it in Canvas. Let's get to that homework I wanna show you. So let me go back to home. All right. Down here's the homework, you click on the homework, and there's the homework assignment right there. You click on it, you go to assignment. What I wanna point out to you, after 2 o'clock on Monday, a week from today, right below it will be the answer. So I post the answer right where every homework is. I always put the answer right below it. So any in-class assignment, the answer, when I post the answer, will be right below it. So you know like if homework were due today at 2 o'clock, when I get home tonight, I would be next Monday. I will be posting the homework answer, and it will show up right there below the homework assignment. So that's where you can always find the answer. That's the answer you're gonna wanna download before you take the quiz. That's the answer you're gonna wanna have open while you're taking the quiz, ready to go. Where you have your list of items based on each subject that you're gonna learn before quiz 1. So what else is on here? Just all the stuff we're going over Thursday. We're doing all this stuff on Thursday, the PowerPoint and all these examples on Thursday. I keep saying Thursday because I think it's Tuesday, Thursday. Wednesday, this is Monday, Wednesday. I have not taught on a Monday, Wednesday in 5 years, so this is why I've always been on Tuesday, Thursday, so that's why I'm confused. But Wednesday, we'll be going over the rest of that stuff. Okay, now, let me go again, syllabus. So these are basically the only tabs you need. Here's the first 4 weeks of the syllabus is right there, all the way to quiz 1. After quiz 1, I'll move quiz 1 to the top, and I'll put all the weeks leading to quiz 2 right there. But if you want to see everything for the whole semester, just download the syllabus right here at the top. Just click there and download it. Grades, you click on grades, you'll see all your grades there, I guess. I don't know, is this supposed to be overlapping like that, or is I got a screen error here? Anybody know? No?
I think because we don't have them loaded yet.
Yeah, maybe because I don't have anything loaded possibly. Anyway, so those are the sections you'll be using: announcements, grades, assignments, home, and syllabus. Those are the only sections we're using. Any questions on that? All right, let me look at my notes. I think, yeah, the tutoring SI I don't know about yet, which he asked about. Class is never canceled, I said that. Assigned seating, when you walk in to take your quiz, not only will you see all these folders up, where there's 7 cubicles in each row, some are skinny, some are bigger, but you're also gonna see a seating chart up here, telling you, and when you look at the seating chart, this is row 1, this is row 2, row 3, row 4, and there's 7 cubicles going across. Well, it looks like that. There you go. I just read something about this student right here. Look at you guys, I don't actually take pictures of you. Someday how many years later, I'll read something about him. He just got promoted, that guy right there, my old student just got promoted to Chief Financial Officer of a corporation down in Detroit. I can't remember the name of it.
Wow, he's an executive now?
Yeah.
Did he have a master's?
But yeah, man, that's 2014. Yeah, he went on to his grad school right after his bachelor's. There's another student, he was older. I recognize him. You gotta remember, you guys, how many years is this later? This is 11 years later. I will still recognize most of your faces 11 years later, but I never, ever, ever can remember a student's name, so I apologize now. I'll run into you at Walmart, and it happens all the time, and as you're talking to me, I'll remember which class you're in, I'll remember where you sat, because a lot of you keep sitting in the same spots, and I'll remember all that, but I will never remember your name. Just, so take that into consideration, all right, when I'm turning red, because I can't remember your name. All right, I want to talk about a couple things. I know you're packing up, hang on, wait a minute, you ready? We're going to get started real quick, just a couple other things I want to make sure you understand. If I said to you, we're going to do confidence intervals on Wednesday, and if I said to you, hey, I want you to make a 90% confidence interval, the confidence amount is the opposite of the significance amount. And when you add those two up, they got to add up to 100%. So if I said to you, I want a 90% confidence interval, what's the significance? 10%, you got it. If I said to you, hey, do this problem with 5% significance, how much confidence is there going to be? 95%, you got it. All right, they're the opposite of each other. The whole semester, you know that. Some problems talk about confidence, some problems give you the significance, but it doesn't matter because you can convert it to either one that you need to use, whether it's the confidence or the significance, right? Now, here's the deal. We're not going to use a Z-chart in this class, but I want to make sure you remember a Z-chart. If I said to you, I want you to find Z, here's Z, remember, 2 points, these are negatives, forget the negative for a minute, but look at the 2.7, I go across 2.7, go here, this is the digit after the 7, 2.78, so if I'm looking at a number here, that would be 2.78 or 2.69 or whatever. If I said to you, hey, I want you to have 10% significance, here's the deal, with confidence interval, if I said 10% significance, the significance is in the tails. With a confidence interval, you got two tails. It's always a two-tail problem for confidence interval. Let me repeat that. You won't have one-tail problems with confidence interval. There'll always be two tails. And with two tails, the equal amount of significance is in each tail. So if this is a 10% significant problem, how much significance is in each tail? If it's 10%, what? 5% in each tail. Now you look up 5% because I'm asking you to find the critical Z for 10% significance. You go, okay, 10% significance means there's 5% in each tail. Now I could look up this one, which would be, remember, a Z-chart's always from one spot to the left. So if I'm looking up the positive number, 5% here, that means I'd be looking up 95%. But if I just look up the negative one instead, that would just be 5%. So let's find 5%. Turn 5% to a decimal? 0.05. Find the closest you can get to 0.05 on this chart for me. I'm going to scroll down. Tommy, let's find it. I can't remember where it's at actually. I'm looking for, there I see 1%, I see 2%, I see some 3%, here we go. You see 5% coming up? Here we go, right here. See my pointer's at? Dang, I picked the wrong number. I shouldn't have used 5%. It's right between two numbers, darn it. Darn, let's keep going though. Okay, I got my pointer right where 5% would be if 5% were on this chart, right? Notice it's equal distance between these two numbers. That's 5%, 05, and that's 5% minus 05. This is 0.0005 below, that's 0.0005 above. 5% will land right there. But here's how you find the critical Z. Ready? 1.6, I'm going with this one, 4, 1.64, but what's this other one? 1.65. What would be directly in the middle between 1.64 and 1.65? I'm going to go with 1.645. I just found my critical Z. Plus and minus, plus and minus. Right here is negative 1.645. Right here is plus 1.645. I use this. This semester, we're no longer using the Z-chart to find this number. Instead, we're going to use this Excel or another Excel. I like this one. This is the one I'm going to teach you. We're going to talk about the other one on Wednesday, but this one's my favorite. Equals, let me make this bigger. Equals norm dot S dot IMV parentheses. You're putting a number in those parentheses. If it's a one tail, you put the confidence in those parentheses. If it's a two tail, you got to put the confidence plus add half the significance in those parentheses. All right, you ready? We're gonna see if we get 1.645 or not. First of all, we're doing a confidence interval. What I tell you, is it one tail or two tail? Always two tail. Confidence intervals are always two tail. So two tail says, I gotta put the, here we go. I gotta put in the parentheses the amount of confidence for this problem we just solved here, plus half the significance. What was the full significance of this problem? For both sides together?
10%.
10%. What was the confidence?
90%.
90%. Two tail says put the confidence plus half the significance. So what am I putting in the parentheses?
90 plus 5.
95%. 90% plus half of 10% is 5%, 0.95. Somebody got Excel? Put that in there. You're gonna get, what was ours? 1.645. That's our lesson for today. All right, I'll see you on Wednesday.